In the last lesson, we discussed how to solve algebraic equations that contains powers of the variable greater than 1. And one such equation I told you is quadratic equations. Quadratic equations are equations that contain the second power of the variable. It is a second degree equation. Now, there are many areas around us in our everyday life where such equations come very handy in solving problems, like in business and industry, in geometry, in building construction, and anywhere else. The quadratic equations are an integral part of our everyday life. So, learning to use quadratic equations to solve basic problems is an important skill. Now, we will not spend a lot of time on this. We will just do a couple of problems. Alright? Now, in doing problems or solving equations of this type, in attempting to solve application problems, we will use the following guidelines. I very often give you these guidelines in solving these problems. Take note of these guidelines. Guideline number 1, let the quantity to be determined be called x. In almost every problem, you will be asked to determine a quantity. Well, call that quantity be equal to x, your variable. Now, read the problem carefully to understand how that variable x is related to other given quantities in the problem. Because you need to form an equation. An equation is a relationship. So you really need to read the problem carefully and understand the relationship of that variable with the other things given in the problem. And once you understand that relationship, you can write the equation connecting x to the other given quantities. Well, once you have the equation, solve the equation for the variable, and that is it. Is that right? And use the value of the variable to state the required answer. Try and follow these steps. Let's go and do a problem. Alright, the problem goes like this. The length of a plastic box is 4 centimeters more than its width. The area of the rectangular top of the box is 77 centimeters. Find the length and the width of the box. Well, what is the first guideline I gave you? The first guideline is identify the quantity to be determined and call it x. But look here, we got two quantities to be found. Find the length and the width. So which of these is going to be called x? Well, the clue is here. It says the length of a box is 4 centimeters more than its width. So start by saying let the width be x. If the width is x, the length is given to be 4 centimeters more than that. So if the width is x, what is the length? Will be x plus 4. You see how we connected the variable with other information given in the problem. Now here is the box, the plastic box. Let the width of the box be x. So this is the width. Then the length will be x plus 4. This is the length, this is the width. You see, this also is the width there. The top part, let's consider the top part. So x is the width, that is x. And the length is x plus 4. Now what is the other information we have? The top of the box is a rectangle. I'm sure you can see that in the recording. The top of the box is a rectangle. The length of the rectangle is x plus 4. and the width of the rectangle is x. And what is the information we are given about the top of the box? It says the area is 77 centimeters squared. Well, the top of the box is a rectangle. Do you know the formula for area of a rectangle? The formula for area of a rectangle is length multiplied by width, or width multiplied by length. It doesn't matter how you write it. Area of a rectangle is length multiplied by width. And you are told that the area is 77. So we can now write an equation. What is the equation? X times x plus 4 equal to 77. Width multiplied by the length. Width is x. This is your x. And this is your x plus 4. So x multiplied by x plus 4 is the area of the top of the box. And that is given to be 77. You see, we have an equation. What is the next thing to do? We got to solve the equation. Now, what is the first thing that you will do to solve this equation? Simplify the left-hand side by multiplying. Distribute this x. X times x is x squared. X times positive 4 is plus 4x. So the left-hand side now is x squared plus 4x, and that is equal to 77. What will you do now to solve that equation? You need to move the 77 from the right to the left. Alright, let's do that. That will be x squared plus x squared plus 4x minus 77 equal to 0. We have now the right side equal to 0 and the left side is a trinomial. What will you do on the left hand side to solve that equation? Factor the left hand side. I want you to think about this and tell me how you will factor this. Alright? Can you tell me how you're going to factor it? It's a very simple one because the coefficient of x squared is 1. The last term is negative 77. The middle term is positive 4x. Let's look at the number only, positive 4. Now, what are going to be the factors of negative 77? Can you factor negative 77 into two numbers? Give me two numbers when multiplied will give you negative 77. It means one number has to be positive and the other has to be negative. Alright? Can you think of two numbers that when multiplied together will give you negative 77 and when added will give you positive 4? That is a very simple thing to do if you know your numbers, because 77, there is only one way to factor that 77, is 11 times 7. 11 times 7. Now, which of them is going to be positive? Is 11 going to be positive or 7 going to be positive? How do you know? When you add them, you got to get positive 4. That means 11 is positive and 7 is negative. That's the way to think about it. Okay, let's start with the first term. Factor x squared. Well, I just factored it for you, thinking that you will be able to do that on your own. Well, it will go like this. Let me show it to you. X squared can be factored as x and x. And negative 77 is positive 11 times negative 7. And watch this. Positive 11x added to negative 7x. You see, positive 11x added to negative 7x is positive 4x. That means, what are the factors of this now? The factors are x plus 11 is the first factor, and x minus 7 is the second factor. So we have x plus 11 times x minus 7 equal to 0 is now the equation. How do you solve it? To solve it, we set each factor to 0. First, x plus 11 equal to 0 will give you x equal to negative 11. Second factor, x minus 7 equal to 0 gives x equal to 7. Well, tell me, what does our x represent? X represents the width of the box. Now, we got two values of x. Can the width of the box have two values? No, it will have only one value. So which one of these is the result? What is the clue? Well, the clue is width of a box cannot be negative. That means x equal to negative 11, although it is a solution of the equation, it is not our answer. Now this is where the last step I gave you. Use the solution to figure out the answer. It's very important. You see, the equation gave you two solutions, but those two solutions are not our answers. Answer is only one value, and the answer therefore is x equal to 7. The width of the box is 7. If the width of the box is 7, what is the length of the box? Length is 4 centimeter more than the width. Therefore, length is 7 plus 4, that is 11. So, since the width of a box cannot be negative, x equal to negative 11 is not, we are not interested in it. The value of x is actually 7. Now, therefore, the width is 7 centimeter and the length is 11 centimeter. You can see a problem like this is very useful in building construction, in geometry, in civil engineering, electrical engineering, all kinds of engineering. Quadratic equations are used in all walks of life. Okay, let's do one more problem. And that problem is about a triangle. The base of a triangle is equal to its height. If the area of the triangle is 72 centimeters squared, find the measure of its base and height. Well, here again, you are told to find two things. Find the base and the height. So, are we in trouble here? I don't think so. Why? Because a relation between base and height is given to us. What is our relation? They are equal. You are told that the base of a triangle is equal to its height. So it is enough for us to say that let the base be equal to x, or let the height be equal to x. You can choose, because if the base equal to x, then the height also equal to x. Alright, now here is the triangle. Let the base be equal to x. That means the length of the base equal to x. Then the height also will be equal to x. What is the meaning of height of a triangle? Height of a triangle is the line that is drawn perpendicular to the base that meets the vertex of that triangle. This is the height, and that also equal to x. Now, some time ago, I gave you the formula for the area of a triangle. Do you remember that formula? What is the formula for area of a triangle? Area of a triangle is 1/2 base multiplied by height. The area of a triangle is A equal to 1/2 base multiplied by height. Now, base is x, height also is x, and the area A is given to us. What is the area? 72 centimeters squared. That means we have now our equation. Look at this. 1/2 times x multiplied by x. 1/2 base multiplied by height is the area. And that area is given to be 72. Can you solve for x from here? Well, multiply both sides by 2. Remember I told you, if I give you an equation that contains a denominator, you first of all have to eliminate that denominator. So in order to eliminate this 2, multiply the left side by 2. But when you do that, you also multiply the right side. Multiply both sides by 2. And what happens? The 2 on the left will cancel. What is left on the left side is x multiplied by x equal to x squared. X squared equal to 2 times 72, or we get 144 equal to x squared. Can you solve for x? If 144 equal to x squared, I can now write x squared minus 144 equal to 0. Is that right? Yes. Now, make one side equal to 0. X squared, bring 144 to the right and make the left side 0. X squared minus 144 equal to 0. Can you factor this equation? X squared minus 144 equal to 0. I want to see if anybody can do it. We have developed enough skill for you to do that. What kind of an algebraic expression is this? Or what kind of factoring can you use there? This is a difference of two squares. X squared minus 144 is 12 squared. So, let's go to the next slide. X squared minus 144 equal to 0. Write this as the difference of two squares. That will be x squared minus 12 squared equal to 0. Can you factor this now? The factors of the difference of two squares is the sum of the two numbers multiplied by the difference of the two numbers. So factoring gives me x plus 12 times x minus 12 equal to 0. And now, to solve for x, we set each factor to 0. Alright, setting x plus 12 equal to 0. What is the value of x if x plus 12 equal to 0? Moving the 12 to the right side gives you x equal to negative 12. Second factor, set the second factor to 0. X minus 12 equal to 0 gives you x equal to positive 12. Now, what is our aim? Our aim is to find the value of x, and what does x represent? We started by saying that let the base of the triangle be x. Well, base of the triangle can have only one value. Which of these is going to be the answer for that? Base of a triangle cannot be negative, and therefore we discard the negative value and choose the positive value. Alright, since the base of a triangle cannot be negative, our answer here is x equal to 12. And therefore, what is our answer? The base of the triangle is 12 centimeter, and the height of the triangle also is 12 centimeter, because we are told that the base and the height are both equal. Now, isn't it nice the way we set up problems like this? And there are many areas where simple equations, quadratic equations can be set up and solved to get information about businesses, industries, and so on, engineering. So remember, what you are doing in algebra is actually the basis of our civilization. A lot of what we achieve is built on the algebraic understanding. So it's a very important factor in your life. So try and enjoy it, all right? And try and do some of these problems on your own. Okay, this is now the end of Unit 4. You are now ready for the test 4. You have done the 2 quizzes already. I'm sure you have. All right, get ready, look at the practice test, and make sure that you understand all the kind of problems, and then take the test. Okay, I wish you all the best, and I will see you for Unit 5 later on.